All right, it's time for another Drawing in the Dark. My name is Levi Smith, and today we are going to be drawing Deadpool fighting some big old monster. This one was fun, and I really do think that I have found a groove and a take on how I'm going to be going about drawing these pieces here for this video series. So my concept is to do pop culture stuff as I've been doing, but going with a darker, edgier, I guess, angle with things. So and that's really just part of my nature with stuff. I like to do a little bit of a darker kind of vibe, as you can see with like all the skulls mashed up together there. That piece on the left, I call those a skull mash. Those that piece, I have the video available on the Patreon page, so you can go there and check that out if you want. And then while you're here, you can do a little like and subscribe, which goes a long way and means a lot. So if you're down, go ahead and do that. And yeah, we'll draw some Deadpool fighting some big old monster here. And yeah, let's just take a minute to watch along. I'm going to cut in here with a couple of questions on the videos, just in generally. What do what do people think of the long silences in the video? You know, where there's just a little bit of background music and you can just watch the drawing. I'm curious about how people like that, or if they don't like it. I've liked it in videos, other times I haven't, so I mean it's kind of a give or take thing for me, where I might do it a little bit here and there, but not a lot. I definitely wouldn't do a whole video silent. Yeah, so just let me know in the comments. So Deadpool's a character, I remember when he first really came about, he never really stood out to me. I wasn't really that much into Rob Liefeld's Marvel Comics back in the day. I followed a lot of, Jim Lee's X-Men. I loved Mark Silvestri. He was definitely my favorite out of those X-Men artists. And I didn't follow that much of X-Force or New Mutants so much. I was aware, and I definitely, knew who Rob Liefeld was and what he was doing. I remember watching the original commercial that he did with Spike Lee for Levi jeans. One thing that stood out to me was because you had a kid drawing, really cool art in a Levi's jeans commercial, and my name was Levi, so it was something that really stuck and really stuck in my head, and became like a point. People would point that one out to me, like, "Oh, hey, did you see that one commercial there where the kids drawing the comic book stuff for Levi's?" So that was really a point of interest for Liefeld. And then when Jim Lee did the X-Men trading card set, the Deadpool card was just one of the coolest. But I was never really too impressed originally with Deadpool. I mean, obviously his Merc with the mouth, his wit, his humor, his sarcasm wasn't really present much in the original version of Deadpool. He was really just kind of like this generic, hard-edged, kind of looks like Spider-Man character that just wasn't all that impressive. But it was a really cool take on him for that Jim Lee did for that X-Men card series. From there, though, I don't know. I mean, he definitely wasn't my favorite. I had a good buddy of mine who collected a lot of the Ed McGuinness comics, and so I got a chance to read those, the Landau, Luckman, and Lake, the lawyers from the future and stuff that were kind of hiring him out to do things. And some of those earlier issues where he had to fight the Hulk to get like a blood sample, and picking a fight with Wolverine and stuff at a fair. That stuff was a lot of fun and an angle that I felt was really interesting, as kind of like really following like the anti-hero kind of exploits. And so I did grow to appreciate Deadpool, but it wasn't so much until the movies that I fully, found an appreciation for the character. And now, I mean, obviously everyone's excited about the Wolverine and Deadpool movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess. And, of course, Deadpool 1 and 2 were fantastic. Some of the best movies that I've seen him drop, as far as anything X-Men related. I mean, of course, Logan was pretty good. And, I'm kind of into, the X-Men movies in general. I don't have such a high bar for a lot of these movies that, you get anything wrong and I'm pissed and I'm writing them all off. But yeah, Deadpool's definitely an icon in modern comics. He is one of the marquee characters for Marvel nowadays, and definitely going to be a marquee character for the MCU. I'm pretty certain of it. I don't think that this new Deadpool Wolverine movie is going to bomb by any means, and I'm really hoping that we get to see more of him afterwards. Yeah, it's he's a fun character to draw. His costume is pretty classic. He still manages to hold on to some pouches and stuff. I don't think he'd look right without, if you took away all of his pouches. I think, it really adds to the look. And it maintains kind of like his 90s era villain anti-hero kind of thing. But I did like some of the earlier Deadpool stuff where they would show him be more villainous instead of just a good guy posing as a bad guy, which is a lot more of kind of like where he's at now. I mean, he'll do terrible things and stuff, but he's still like for the right reasons kind of deal, which to me just shaves off some of those rough edges on the character. have another question for anybody watching. As far as like the commentary that I'm doing, would you like to see, or would you like to hear more commentary on like the drawing process itself, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing? I plan on bringing that in a bit here and there, but not really making the whole video about that. Or would you want me to talk more about the subject matter itself? You know, like more of my thoughts on Deadpool, or maybe do some research on some of the IP that I'm representing and stuff, and give some facts or some some shit like that. Let me know in the comments. One thing that has been interesting, I've been watching and listening to a lot of pseudoscience stuff lately. You know, pseudo history, pseudoscience, and a lot of debunking and stuff. You know, watching videos that prove that ancient Egyptians were the ones that built the pyramids and not aliens from outer space or time travelers or some weirdness like that. And it's been a lot of fun. A lot of debunking of Graham Hancock. Going into basically like the lack of evidence or the ignoring of existing evidence, and these amusing claims, that he's being in some way persecuted or ignored or shut out by the archaeological community and stuff like that. When really what a lot of it is he has yet to actually present a lot of his theories and ideas in any official capacity to be regarded by any of the professionals in the field. And so I guess it's a pretty easy thing to say that no one will recognize your work when you won't turn it in. You present it to the people, get on Joe Rogan, make a Netflix special, misrepresent the statements of a whole bunch of actual archaeologists, which a number of them have come out and revealed that that's what he had done, but still not to produce an actual claim or theory of some type and then present it to the community and then decry that the community won't take you seriously is kind of funny to me. But it's been a nice revelation in a way, watching a lot of these pseudoscience debunkers. And of course, some of them are kind of loose, some of them are just in a way disregarding things out of hand, and then there's other guys that and the one in particular just escapes me right now. Maybe I'll cut his name in or something into the video once I can go back and look it up. But I was definitely someone open to ancient aliens concepts, skeptical of ancient Egyptians building these massive pyramids with just copper chisels and pulleys and stuff. But there's been a lot of evidence presented that I've seen. The videos are pretty convincing. They're logical. They're not sensational at all. And so I think I'm back in the camp of, yeah, totally. That was done by humans, contemporary humans of the time, with the tools that were available, a lot of which, sure, a copper chisel isn't going to be able to carve granite and basalt, at least not very well and not efficiently enough to go for it. But there are other stones, and that was something that I didn't quite put together or realize, that they used a lot of stone that was harder than other stone to do a lot of carving, grinding, sanding, stuff like that. Makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like in the way that how they found out how the moai on Rapa Nui, Easter Island, how they moved those giant people statues, and how the legends always said that they had walked out to the coastlines and stuff, and now they've shown with like ropes and stuff that they can actually walk the statues up and down the hills and everything. And that there's a lot of evidence for that, as far as how like some of the moai had been deposited in seemingly random places. If they were going uphill, then the moai are in the ground face first. If they were going downhill, they're back down face up kind of thing. And so there is some logic to this stuff, and just because we haven't figured it out now doesn't mean that it wasn't possible, especially when we don't have very much direct information, the kind of stuff that we would want or expect to have nowadays. I think that a lot of the pseudoscience kind of like fills in those gaps and expectations that we have, especially in like the TV show, truncated, hyper edited for entertainment type of delivery of information that we get. We see so many TV shows and movies and stuff where there is information available, it just hasn't been revealed to us yet. And so I think that we end up with some kind of like expectation that it's going to end up being that way, when sometimes the information just is not available, does not exist. We haven't figured it out or detected it properly enough. But yeah, anyway, so this piece has been coming together really nicely. I really liked how Deadpool turned out. I got a cool dynamic kind of pose out of him. He's jumping right into this eldritch kind of horror monster's mouth, ready to tear things up. And I think it really went well. And so we're here at the end of the video, and I just want to thank everybody for making it this far. That does not happen very often. Usually the analytics say that you guys are out of here by like a minute and a half. So if you made it all the way here through 17 minutes of drawing and random bullshit coming from my face, I really appreciate it. And if you really got this far, a like, a subscribe, that would mean a lot. Check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/mopandbucket. It'll be in one of the end cards that'll pop up here, as well as some of our other merch and stuff. Kenny's working on a new season of our podcast, Pop Culture Classics. You can check that out where podcasts are found. You can check out our art books on Amazon. All the links are in the description. And I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day. This should be going up on a Tuesday, and so I hope that everybody has a good rest of their week as well. Try to stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.